Hello everybody and welcome to my video, Getting Tidier. I hope you're all well and I hope you've had a lovely few days. So by the time you're listening to this, it'll probably be middle of the week. So what have you got planned for the week? I know some of you have got piles of Lego like I have and you're thinking about sorting it. Others of you are trying to get rid of more books. Others of you are just trying to have a general sort out and tidy up. Whatever you're doing, I hope it's going well and I hope you're having an enjoyable week so far. So the first few clips show what I'm going to be doing in today's video. So yes, you're going to see me maintaining the kitchen, doing more on the playroom. You're going to see me sorting out a little tiny bit in our spare bedroom, a tiny bit, because that is a big job. You'll see me doing some cleaning in the kitchen. I really wanted to get it's got really quite bad at the side of the oven, so I really wanted to clean that thoroughly. And you'll see me doing some more of the Lego. I'm going to get on top of it eventually. I'm going to get it all done. And my husband had various ideas about sorting it, and between the three of us, we have nearly gone through the big tub and separated it into piles. But you will see me in the playroom. I have a bit of a laugh to myself because I found another big container. Lego. I had this idea that I'd be able to put all the Lego boxes in one big box that was just spare in our spare bedroom. So I brought the box in and then I realised I couldn't get all the boxes in and all the Lego. I found another container of Lego. Mostly all the little figures, little faces, there's little Donald Duck and all sorts in there. So at least I have put it all in one place. I'm thinking about getting rid of the little table with little chairs that go with it. Actually, my daughter does sometimes sit on the little chairs, but they are, I mean, you start using them, I suppose, when children are about 2 years old. They come from IKEA, but they'll hold my weight. So sometimes if I've been in her bedroom reading a story, I've sat on one of the little tiny seats. But I think that makes sense to get rid of the little table and the two chairs. So I was having a look in the playroom to see any other quick wins. So there are a few things that we're definitely keeping. So a lot of the Sylvanian things we're keeping. We're definitely keeping the Moncini house because we're a big fan of Moncinis. And if we ever get to Japan, my daughter for sure will be buying another one. But they're very cute. And the house my sister bought my daughter when she was about 2. And we've had some great games and fun with that, so that will be nice to keep hold of in the event of her wanting it when she's older, or if my daughter has children when she's older. So I do feel, although this room is still absolutely chocker, I am clearing out a lot more space. There's a lot more floor room, which just makes me feel much better about the room. And also now it's so much clearer when you walk out of the bathroom because the horse has gone. Again, this created so much space. Now you'll then see on my video, I start doing some work in our old bedroom. Now we've got piles and piles and piles of stuff here. And that was because it was all on the bed, piled up on the bed when I tried to sort it out last. And then my husband, this is going back a few weeks ago, he got this sort of like lurgy. He picked it up from London. Well, that's what I think anyway. And he was like up all night and really felt unwell. So he slept for a few hours in this bed one evening. And of course, to get in the bed, he needed to quickly clear it. So everything, unfortunately, got put on the floor. But I decided to be a bit ruthless, in the words of Cynthia. I got a bag and started just filling it up with things. There was a shirt, a really nice shirt that I nearly put in the bag as well. I've still got the labels on. But my husband doesn't like long sleeve shirts. But in the end, I didn't get rid of that one because I thought, well, if he really had something where he wanted something really nice shirt and to be quite smart, might be worth keeping hold of it. But I went through loads of things in my chest of drawers, rugby clothes and things that just aren't used anymore, and managed to fill a bag, which I'm really pleased about. Now, what do you all think? Do you think my video is looking quite dull? The lighting. I'm wondering whether I should invest in some sort of light It's not so much of an issue in the summertime, but some of these videos, they do look really dark because it has been very, very grey. So we had a nice weekend. On Sunday we went to church in the morning, and then we just kind of did house jobs. I helped my daughter with her homework, and my husband, we all did a little bit of Lego sorting. My husband spent a couple of hours, really, I guess, cooking beef ribs out on the barbecue. It's like freezing cold, and I look out the window and he's standing outside with a short sleeve shirt on cooking these ribs, and he gets snacks and all ready to watch the American football. And for those of you that are in America and Eagles fans, I'm guessing that you're very, very pleased. My uncle was an Eagles fan, so these my husband seasoned all these ribs and everything, and the meat just like fell off the bone. He's very good at doing that sort of thing. So I did taste a little bit, and then I went to bed quite late, but he went to bed very late. And then this morning he was up really early doing my daughter's apple turnovers and helping her get ready for school. So I said to him, often we'll go together on a Monday morning to school in the school run, but I said, well, why don't I do the school run and you go back to sleep for a little bit before your work starts? So he decided to do that. So yeah, it was a nice weekend, a quiet weekend, and we're getting ready for a busy weekend, because very, very soon I'm going to be going back up to the northeast. So if you don't already follow me on my other channel, please do look out for that. I usually post videos of what I've been up to, generally in the garden, and also I sometimes post about our house in the northeast and different things, different projects we've got going on. So if you're interested in that, please find me on my other channel. You can find the details in the description. So Monday morning after the school run, I went into the supermarket shop. Now I thought, I was there really early, so I expected it to be really quiet, but actually it was really, really busy. I went to Lidl's first and then on to Tesco. Tesco are in my good books because I'm looking for raffle prizes and auction prizes, and they've given me 2 things, which I'm very pleased about. Whereas, can you believe I've contacted Waitrose at 2 different supermarkets and it was a big fat no. So big shout out to Tesco for their support, and a big to Waitrose. I'm going to contact some of the other supermarkets as well and see how I get on. So you can see the moment in the video. This is where I've come back from the supermarket. I went to Lidl first and got quite a lot of my shopping, and then I get the last bits and pieces from Tesco with the things that I can't get from Lidl. I'm still trying to use my freezer food up. So I've still got a lot in the freezer and I want to use it up. So I was trying not to buy much for the freezer, but I did buy sweet potato fries, some chips, some salmon, because I have got a lot of basa in the freezer, but my daughter really likes salmon. And I bought some prawns, but then I defrosted all of those for lunch. So the freezer still is very, very full. And I am going to try to do more meal planning. Now, I do keep an eye on Ali Lives Well on Less, just because I like Ali and I like what she has to say. I think she's really interesting. She's in Scotland, for those of you that are interested in following or saving money saving tips. And she lived out of the freezer for quite some time, but she was talking about the importance of planning meals. And I think she's right. For too long, every single Monday, I'd buy all the same things. Or I work out what meals and I think, oh yes, I fancy that and I fancy that. And then I realise that I've bought like everything for shepherd's pie, but actually I need 9 days that week in order to do all the meals for all the things that I've purchased. It's crazy, really. We nearly always have risotto on a Thursday night. And Mondays, we always say it's a rainbow dinner. And we say rainbows because here in the United Kingdom, there's rainbows, brownies, guides and rangers. And so on Mondays, rainbows used to start at like 4:30 or 5 o'clock. So we used to have what we called a rainbows dinner, which is something very, very quick, like fish fingers, for example. Was probably all the effort that you put into like a rainbows dinner. That's probably the dinner that my daughter likes best, and that isn't that crazy. Other things you cook from scratch, put a lot of effort and work into it, and she probably likes that a lot less. She loves the fish finger dinner. So I'm going to go through some of your comments now. So massive thank you for those of you that add comments to my channel. I love reading the comments. I go through every single one of them. So big thank you for that. It's very, very kind. And there's one thing I do feel about, there's lots of social media where people, don't show so much kindness. If you log into Facebook and you see the comments on different posts, half of the people or 60% of the people are being quite mean, whereas you've all been so kind and inspiring and encouraging to me, sorting things out. Now, before I read the comments, I wanted to say thank you to Brooke. Now, Brooke reminded me, do you remember me saying about the coffee machine? Is that coffee machine now working? She had remembered, I had forgotten. Thank you, Brooke. So I said that again to my husband, and that prompted him to search for this particular coffee machine that he wanted that was out of stock. John Lewis didn't have it. Argos didn't have it. Now, John Lewis and Argos, we can get like 6% or 7% off. But in the end, Amazon still trumped the 6%, 7%. So it was back in stock, so he's purchased it, which meant, obviously, that the old one would be put on the chair in the hall, wouldn't it? I mean, where else would you put a broken coffee machine? Clearly belongs on the chair. I did say to my husband, I'm really trying hard so that when we open the front door, our hall looks nice. Some of the rooms might be untidy, but our hall is clean and tidy and cleared. And when you put that on the seat, not only is there a risk of marking it quite badly because the main colour is cream, but also people look into our home and wonder why a coffee machine has been placed on a chair. He said, all right, sorry about that. I've got to also, you'll laugh about this. I've got that sign in the hall which says, please take your shoes off. That was really purchased for a couple of family members that refuse to take their shoes off. So even though I've asked so many times, please can you take your shoes off? Remember me saying about this? So I purchased a sign. So my husband was sitting on the lounge, he was putting his shoes on. I said, how come you've got the shoes on in the lounge? Please don't put the shoes on in the lounge. I've just cleaned and swept there, and you don't know what you might have stood in. It's like not very clean to wear your shoes in the house. I said, and I bought that sign. He said, what sign? I said, the sign in the hall, which says, please take your shoes off. He said, I've never seen a sign. So I said, that sign that I bought because those particular family members never take their shoes off. He said, I saw there was a bit of plastic hanging. I saw there was a bit of plastic hanging from the end of the stairs, but I never read it. And I actually think that understanding certain things about not all men, but a lot of men, makes you feel a lot less irritated or aggravated about the fact that some men don't do loads of stuff in the house. And you've all heard my story of when I was newly married and my husband would go down first thing in the morning. He'd open the door and he'd walk across all the recycling and the newspaper and adverts and leaflets. He'd walk over it in order to go to the car. And that was a big thing for me because I felt like he was not caring about our home, not considering, various things. And then it suddenly dawned on me. It's because my husband has got up, had breakfast, had something to drink, and he's going to the car to work. He literally does not see the leaflets and the newspapers and all the things scattered on the floor. So often people just, they just doesn't see the things that need to be done around the house. Now, I know some people will be saying, oh, don't make excuses. But if you're unaware or you just don't notice it in the same way as other people, it makes it much, much harder. Whereas I look around every single room and see all the things that need to be done. And also at the weekend, I was quite pleased because I said to my husband, "All that you're mending the curtain over the front door, and the curtain is draped over the dining room chairs. Is that nearly fixed?" He said, "Oh, I'm sorting all that out today," which was really good. And he also cleaned the cars inside and out. So that was really helpful. I was pleased about that. I just need to go through the boot in my car, and I need to sort out some things. I've bought a new bag, a proper car bag, which is going to go into my boot where I can put the specific things I need for my car. Right, so I'm going to go through some of my comments now. So the first comment is from Linda Hayes, and Linda says, "I've always loved Planet of the Apes. My sister and I have such fond memories of watching the films on our local channel decades ago. They had Planet of the Apes week, and we couldn't wait until 11 o'clock every night. We ate snacks in the dark and had the best time. My sister Lydia had the full-size action figures. The latest movie was the last time I went to the theatre. I'm 62 now and I still love them." I'd like my daughter to get into those films really, but she's still a bit wary about those monkey characters, as she calls them, Monkey Man. She's still a bit wary. Although she might be fine now because she was a bit wary of watching some of the Harry Potters, but we've watched all the Harry Potters now. I watched the last one. We all watched the last one at the weekends. Sort App Home Inventory says, "A strategy for a clutter-free home without stressful decluttering decisions." So you let me know what we can learn from this. So declutter the items you can effortlessly let go of. Put uncertain items in boxes using a digital inventory with images. Enjoy a clutter-free home and a clear view of stored items. Tag items in the inventory for sale, donation or review. Let time declutter for you. What remains boxed is likely clutter, making decisions easier. Very interesting. Although for me, I'm better not to have photographs of the items in the boxes, possibly. So if there are things that I'm not sure of, I'm better to put them in a box. I'll then forget about them, and then I could take the box to the charity shop. That's probably what I would need to do. I'm better not to be reminded as to what's in there, if that makes sense. I don't really want to see what's in the box. Next comment is from Angie Clutterer. "Washing up dishes is the bane of my existence. There is at least 2 days worth of dishes in my sink and I haven't got the will to go in there other than to grab a cup of tea and scurry back to my desk." Oh, that's the thing, it's so easy to build, isn't it? I think if you do one day where you do no washing up, suddenly the kitchen looks like a complete mess. Carol Aspel says, "I'm a butterfly too and flutter from job to job. I think I could potentially be a hoarder, but living with others helps me as they can encourage me to live more comfortably with less. I wonder if this fluttering is a trait of ADHD in me." That's very interesting. I massively get distracted. I've noticed I get distracted in so many different situations. So I'll give you an example. My phone beeps and I realise that I've got a notification of an email about, say, collecting my daughter that day at school, or a message from the dentist in my email. So I drag down my notifications and I see that actually I've got a message from a family member who's on holiday. So I think, oh, lovely, I'll have a look at that message. So I have a look at that message and I see that they have posted some pictures of some different animals that they've seen in India, for example. This is an actual situation which happened. So I have a look at the animals and the birds and I see that there's one bird and I don't know what sort of bird that it is. So I capture the image and I look on Google to see what sort of bird it is. Google tells me what sort of bird it is. So then I message somebody in my family who's interested in different types of birds and I message her to say about this bird. Then I turn the phone off and wonder what I was doing. And then I realise, oh, I didn't go to that. Do you see what I mean? That to me is like a massive distraction. Or I start with putting all the washing away, but as I'm putting all the washing away, I realise that the floor needs hoovering. And then so I go and get the hoover, and while I'm getting the hoover, I realise the hoover needs to be emptied. So I go and empty the hoover outside, and then while I'm outside, I realise that the milkman's left a magazine, so I put that in the recycling bin. Then I realise the recycling bin needs to be collected the next day. So I come in and get all the recycling, and then I think, what was it I was doing? Oh, I was putting the washing away. But I think a lot of people do that, don't they? It's so funny because I think parts of my house really, really are not very organised. But if anybody at work said, do you think Emma's organised? They'd be like, yeah, I think Emma's one of the most organised people that I know. Because of how I manage projects and how I schedule things and how I get things done. Very, very strange. Cami Hell says, I went back to the beginning of your videos and watching. Not sure how you do them now, if you've changed it all. I just wondered if you ever thought about maybe not using music, since it's such a personal thing, and let us listen to the cleaning sounds instead. Well, many of you will know that I got quite a few different comments about music. One song was too fast, one song was too slow. People didn't like the music at all, which is why I talk. And every so often people say, do you have to keep talking? But I might do that with the sounds of the cleaning. I might do that. You might all fall asleep though with boredom. Right, next comment is from Just Morticia. I think I've said that right. Just Morticia says, been watching you from Wyoming. Oh, that's another one that I always forget how to pronounce. I'm sorry. It's a little bit like if people in America were trying to say Haysborough or Wyndham. You would say Happisburgh or Wymondham, I think. So I do sometimes make a mistake with two of the states. But Just Morticia says, praying for your continuing tidying journey. Thank you. Sherry Connolly says, I'm new to watching your videos, but I'm enjoying them. I live in Canada, in the province of New Brunswick. Thank you for letting me know. Hope you are having a wonderful day. Thank you. Shell says, we've just raised over £160 for the hospice with all my decluttering items, and then another £70 for another small haul we did, books, ornaments, and then another £200 just from us loft stuff that needed doing badly. Nearly finished now, been at it since before Christmas. I'm disabled, so my girls and my hubby packed it up, which is a great help. I can feel it now, nearly finished outside the shed at Easter time. That's next. But we've got rid of so much. Everything has a place now inside and feels great. Wow, well done, Michelle. That's fantastic. Super effort. And Brooke replied, that's wonderful, you've done everything as a team. And Bluebird said, great job. Big well done, Michelle. Isabel Ringer says, hello, I'm new. Watching while I crochet an Afghan blanket in Allegan, Michigan, USA. Sorry, for the next 4 years, it's my standard disclaimer these days. I'll watch your old videos to see more and help out. Thank you very much, Isabel. Now, Isabel, just when she says to help out, that's because everything that I earn on my channel for the month of January and February is going to charity. So January, the money is going to a small charity called Star Throwers, and that's for people who've got cancer and people's families who are going through that kind of awful journey. And then for this month, the money is going to be going to a charity called Family Fund, which is for families with children who've got disabilities, who've got illnesses, and they offer grants and support families in lots of different ways so children don't miss out. So any videos that you watch, everything adds up. The more views I get, the more followers I have, the more money we'll make for the charity. Mrs. Kojak says, I'm new here and I'm watching all of the videos. There are 2 different kinds of pumice stones, one for feet and another kind for toilets. I'm from West Virginia. Yes, the DC plane crash was a tragedy. Oh, prayers to all their family and friends. Goodness me. I wonder whether they'll find out what on earth happened. Shocking. Chelsea Football Club, Joanne. Hello, Joanne. How are you? Joanne from Durham. Yes, a pumice stone you use for feet will remove lime scale in the toilet. I got one from the chemist and it worked a treat. It doesn't scratch. Amazing results. I was going to suggest it in a previous video but forgot. Days are getting sunnier in Norfolk. I love it here. I moved here 6 years ago from Essex, so not a genuine Norfolk girl like yourself. You're very welcome to come here. I've got quite a lot of Essex family. I understand why you love it so much. I love Norfolk too. And then I love your videos. You help me motivate me with each video, so thank you so much. It's spring in lovely Durham. Durham is beautiful. It's a lovely part of Norfolk. And Joanne will know exactly what problem I'm talking about in terms of the hard water and lime scale. It really does build up where we live. Cynthia Miller says, sure, you surely did a great purge of your bookshelf. I've always loved my books, but realised I was out of space. We have very hard water and have always used a pumice stone to clean the lime scale that builds up in the toilet. Somehow it doesn't hurt the toilet. In Texas a couple of weeks ago, we had snow. Now we are having the loveliest weather, in the 70s during the day, very clear and balmy. I've been outside doing small chores around the yard or garden. Best to you and your family, Cynthia. P.S. Regarding your second job, listen to your conscience. That inner voice is God speaking to you, guiding you as to the right path. Also, when I get the same message 3 times from other sources, I know for sure what I should do. God will never send a message that will cause you or others harm. I like these wise words that I get from my followers. Very, very wise. And I like anything to do with God. It's very kind of you, Cynthia. Thank you for that. Happy, marvellous, magical and motivational Monday. Blessings. Great decluttering and cleaning video. Thanks for sharing. Stacey from Virginia. Thank you, Stacey. Tracy says, you've done so well with your book decluttering. Well done. Courtney Bolware from 9956 says she's from Columbia, South Carolina, USA. Now I'm going to have to look that up on a map. I'm guessing South Carolina is quite down south. Just by the name, of course. But I need to look on the map to see exactly where it is. We're talking recently about where we're going to go on holiday. We started saying about how we might go to Turkey. And then I'm really funny. I start thinking, oh, I want to go to Turkey, I want to go to Turkey. But I don't think my husband's very keen. And then when he said, yeah, okay, let's go to Turkey, then I think, maybe I'd prefer to go to Holland. We were thinking about the summer as well and where we should go. Partly because of this conversation we had about short flights and longer haul flights. Long haul, I should say. There's a couple of places in America that I would like to go. I'd like to go to Yellowstone National Park. I'd like to take my daughter back to Yosemite. I'd like to take my daughter to Bodie because I wanted to go to Bodie, but that was too much of a detour. And then my husband said about going to San Francisco next year because the 49ers might make it through or something. I don't quite understand American football. Right, next comment is from Sean Daniels. Sean Daniels said, great video, Emma. How is the house feeling to live in? Are you and the family noticing a difference with the extra breathing room? Have you had any visitors notice? You sure are getting tidier. When is the highly anticipated car boot sale planned for? We haven't forgotten you have a 4-bedroom house. Tutored for many years. Have many favourites. Would enjoy watching you sort Lego into colours. Well, hopefully you're watching this part of the video, enjoying this part of the video. Your bookshelf is very well organised. Keep going. You've got this now. Lovely, lovely comment. Thank you very much. I'm not really feeling the house feels that much different, if I'm honest, but I don't feel embarrassed when I open the door quite as much as what I have in the past. And I do feel like my house is getting to a point where I can welcome people in without cringing about all the things that are everywhere. Yes, you don't very often see my fourth bedroom, do you? Because it's absolutely full. When the weather starts improving, then we're going to have a big car boot sale. So we are still definitely going to do that. In terms of visitors noticing, my dad never notices the house when it's really untidy, and he never notices the house when it's really untidy. He is the visitor. He comes around every single Thursday without fail. We don't have loads of people come around our house, really, but he doesn't. My dad would not notice. He would not say a single thing if I had to sweep loads of things off the sofa in order for him to sit down. So he won't say anything about it being tidy or not. He did say, because he used to often come round on Thursdays, and if I've not finished work, he'd start on the washing up for me. And he did say a couple of weeks ago, oh, there's not much washing up here. So he had noticed that. Helen P says, I've got an obsession with bedding and tea towels. Even though I've got a dishwasher, I also have 4 sets of white bedding with different designs on. I'm not getting rid of any of them. I don't blame you, Helen. I do also think I look like I had an awful lot because I've also got all these mattress protectors. So they all take up quite a lot of space. So I'm now at the end of my video. So a massive thank you for those of you that watch this video. For those of you that add supportive comments and like my videos and have watched older videos. And I hope you have a fantastic week. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!